It's time for the 2022 Marble It Up Super Ball full game race event. We've got two very exciting speedrun races for you here this afternoon, and we'll tell you all about what you can expect during this event. But first, I'm Agedude. I'll be your host for this afternoon, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-presenter, Sevadra.
Hello, I am Sevadra. I am a top runner in Marble It Up RTA. I've been playing this game for a little over 1,200 hours. I started playing this game back in March of 2020 as the pandemic hit and I needed something to do in the pastime. But I have since then climbed the ranks and become one of the top runners in the game. I have recently taken up ventures such as RTA coaching for newer runners and have also been interested in venturing to doing some casting for races. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Agedude.
Casting the biggest event of the year. As well, like I said, I'm Agedude. I got my start in Marble It Up doing tool-assisted speedruns. Very beginning when the game launched in 2018. Since then, ventured into full-game speedrun events, as well as just content creation. Marble It Up speedrun history video, as well as I host a show called Speedrunner Showcase, where we bring in all these different speedrunners who set their big PBs and watch their speedruns together and interview them. So I've had a lot of good chance to get to know these runners who you're going to be seeing today, and we're very, very excited for that.
Very exciting. So we're going to be getting into the race soon, but just to clear the air, just to cover what is the objective here, the race, defining the race so that we have an understanding for the audience. The full game classic category is a speedrun through all of the main campaign levels. The objective of the full game classic category is to race through all 60 levels in Marble It Up Classic, starting from Chapter 1 on Learning to Roll, playing in sequential order all the way through Chapter 6, and finishing the run at the end of Stratosphere. There's a few breadth rules, such as no using practice mode, and if you do, you restart your level at any point. But other than that, the in-game time travels are an irrelevant time mechanic for this run, as we count it in real time. And so the route variation is going to be very different than what you may have seen on the in-game leaderboards.
That is true. So what we can expect for this afternoon, we've got two races, unlike previous Super Bowl events. First, we're starting out with an open race. This open race is a race where all of the runners you're going to see have qualified with a time under 1 hour. And beating this game in under 1 hour, very great accomplishment. But the difference is that we also have a second race this year. It's going to be the Marble It Up Invitational. And that one is very, very exciting. It's going to be all the top runners with times under 40 minutes in Marble It Up Classic. Can't wait to see that. And so our first race is going to be starting in just under 30 minutes for the Open. But before we get to that, we will be first talking about the prizes that we have, and then also introducing our speedrunners.
Yes, so this year is very exciting, very different. We have a lot more to offer in terms of the running space. We have an assortment of prizes for the open race. We have a bounty of $10 to the fastest chapter times in each race. That is all 6 chapters. So there are $10 on the table for the fastest times in chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have $10 on the table for the fastest in-game time on 4 bounty mystery levels that were announced yesterday. Those 4 mystery levels are Wave Pool in Chapter 2.
It's got some time travels in it.
We've got some time travels in it, yes.
That actually matters for this one.
The in-game times will matter for these bounties, so get your time travels. We have Wave Pool in Chapter 2. We have Off Kilter in Chapter 3. We have Stayin' Alive in Chapter 5, a big tough one. Incentivize that stay and skip. And
time travels Olympus, as well for the open runners. Worth noting.
Time travels. And Olympus for Chapter 6. And then a breath prize of $5 to everyone who PBs in their race.
That would be cool to see. Love to see some runners get a personal best during this race. It has happened in previous years, and it will probably happen again.
More than likely.
Yeah. So we're going to continue focusing on this open race, and we'll come back to do the invitational pre-show after that's done. But there is one more very special and important prize for the open race winners. We have 2 winners of the open race, and in addition to any winnings they might have from getting one of the fastest chapter times or one of the fastest times on those 4 mystery levels, they also get the opportunity to join the Super Ball Invitational, even if they haven't yet pre-qualified by getting that sub 40 PB time. They are going to be joining us for that side of the competition, which is very, very cool. We're really good on time here, so we can go ahead and start our runner introductions.
Awesome.
What I will, I'll get us started off on that. Like I said, getting a sub-hour time in this game is an achievable goal for anybody who gets into Marble Up speedrunning, I think. But also, it's not necessarily going to be an easy goal. This is not the kind of thing you can expect the average player to come in, do their first playthrough, go back and get the diamond times, and then come back in their first 1 or 2 runs and get a sub-hour time. However, that is pretty much exactly what our first runner on this introduction has done. And as we get into that, we are going to take a quick moment to transition into our open race room. All right, and here we are. Our first runner is not here available today, so we're going to get our first runner to be introduced by Sevadra.
Of course. Our first runner hails from the UK and is Mr. Calligraphy. The name should be familiar to members in the Marble It Up community. Running a time for this qualification of 58 minutes and 43 seconds. Mr. Calligraphy has definitely put in many hours into this game, but has only ever attempted and completed 2 RTA runs, as he is very much more famous for level creation with gears in particular, and very good levels in both the Custom Workshop and the Marble It Up Mayhem updates, alongside plaguing the community with Among Us, among other things. His speedrunning experience prior is speedrunning away from his responsibilities is something we can all relate to. And his favorite level is Cog Valley and Radius, or his favorite levels are Cog Valley and Radius. His least favorite level is Elevator Action, not even be able to doing the skip. Here's to hoping that that changes in the future. And he's very big on the steampunk, and the reason why he has a lot of gears in his levels. It's a very good time.
Sure is. We're going to watch a little bit of a warm-up here from WEDN 2010, who is playing representing the Federation of Russia, or the Russian Federation, rather. Has a 58-minute and 20-second personal best in Full Game Classic. And this guy is a brand new member of the Marble Up community. Very, very cool. He actually joined and started his first playthrough of the game after Awesome Games Done Quick 2022. We can see him pause here on the pause menu, getting ready to go. Very, very, very quickly climbing into that sub-hour time period. Just in the last few weeks, has done about 100 attempts of Full Game Classic and finished 5 of them. His favorite level is Gearheart, and his least favorite level is Platinum Playground. But this guy has previous speedrunning experience, so maybe that's a good explanation for how he's gotten so far so quickly. He's played Untitled Goose Game. I'd love to see those speedruns, as well as Game Dev Story and a bunch of others. And also,
Indeed.
Do you know he created his own route for Gearheart? So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm very excited to see that. It's very fun to see route variations among new runners. Next up on our list is Glacier Husky, coming in from the United States of America. Hailing a time of 58 minutes and 12 seconds, Glacier Husky has reached just the 200-hour mark for Marble It Up, has completed around 8 MIU RTA speedruns, so breaking his foot in there, getting in there. Has no speedrun experience prior to that, however, has done a number of custom level showcases and playthroughs on YouTube, and has also built a couple of his own custom levels. His biggest feat so far is Square Galaxy, a very good custom level that you should all play if you haven't yet. Other than that, he has also been doing game development on the side for around 10 years, so very, very admirable, very aspiring. I personally also intend to venture there at some point. His favorite level is Wave Pool, and his least favorite level is Stratosphere, so we will hope that both of those levels give him a good time. Another few levels he will also hope gives a good time are Elevator Action, Danger Zone, and Braid, as those are the skips to look out for Glacier Husky.
Hopefully we can catch those for sure. Our next runner, hailing from the United States of America, is CJH Carter, also known as just CJ or Carter. This guy has been playing the game for about 100 hours now and managed to log a 57-minute and 31-second personal best after 2 completed runs. So very, very talented, quick accomplishments there from CJ. This guy's known for, he's already won a few weekly challenges against some players with exponentially more hours in this game than he has, which is very impressive. Has some speedrun experience. He's played Metroidvania called Cold Silence, and also has some previous experience with another marble game, which is called Momentum. A little more similar to Monkey Ball, though, in that you actually tilt the level in order to move. But he actually got his start in the Marble It Up sort of series with Marble Blast Ultra in 2008-2009, and we're seeing that Vertigo warm up. I think this guy could be a threat. He has a 500,000 gamer score on Xbox.
Ooh, that's a beefy gamer score. Actually, I respect that. Big props coming from me.
Absolutely.
It's very, very respectful, very dangerous to see those Marble Blast players in this race. Our next one on the list, though, is going to be Chunk Nola, coming from the USA. Has no prior speedrun experience, but is still a threat with a time of 57 minutes and 6 seconds. Chunk Nola has a little over 1,000 hours in the game and has completed 9 RTA runs, but attempted it 10 times, so a very consistent no reset ratio. I very much condone that no reset behavior for getting into the speedrun. Besides his speedrunning here, though, he is known for making some very cursed and very fun custom levels.
Oh, yeah.
Such as Cluster Storm, of which there is a TAS of on Agedude's channel.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
A very wild one to watch for sure. His favorite level is Confluence, and his least favorite level is Danger Zone, so we'll see how that late game treats Mr. Chunk Nola. But I assume it'll treat him well because he has a brother, and that brother plays this game and is a top runner in this game. You will get to meet him. You will get to meet him later.
Yes, you will. We're actually also seeing Chunk Nola warming up for that, trying to get that $10 for the fastest completion on Staying Alive in this open race. But our next runner on the list is going to be none other than Skullfire58. Skullfire coming up some practice here on Cog Valley, trying to land that Coggers, and he is representing the United States of America. And now we're getting into the runners with a sub 50 time, which is quite a lot harder than a sub hour time just on its own. Skullfire's been around for a long time, very prominent Marble It Up community streamer, has over 1,200 hours of playtime just on Steam alone, plus Switch, and over 20 completed attempts. He says his favorite level is Cog Valley, and I guess that's exactly why we're seeing this warm-up here. And least favorite is Tangle. Although if I had to venture to guess, I'd say he probably has a little more experience on Sugar Rush.
Just a wild guess.
Maybe. This guy's been watching speedrunners for years, but hasn't necessarily been a speedrunner before Marble It Up. So very cool to see this as his inaugural speed game. And he's been part of this community since launch day on Switch, which was, so many great community members have been around since the beginning. And, we've had some great people join as well along the way, such as Sevadra.
Yeah, I was a fan back in the day. One of the OGs. Next up on the list, though, is going to be Nate Squared, coming from Australia. Shout outs to the Australia. Nate Squared running a time of 48 minutes and 26 seconds, completed over 20 RTA runs in about 300 hours. A very good result coming from that. He has prior speedrun experience in Super Mario Odyssey, so that might explain why he's able to click with this game kind of decently. But he's also known for porting some Marble Blast Gold levels into this game, which is a labor of love, and honestly something that people should maybe take up doing more. Shout outs to Marble Blast Gold and Marble Blast Ultra players. Y'all are the real ones. He's also learning to develop games, which is very intriguing. Very cool that we have a number of aspiring game developers in this community. His favorite level is Triple Divide, and his least favorite level is Learning to Turn. That pesky second level in the game. Always going to be someone dying on that level. Let's hope that it happens to nobody here. But we'll be on the lookout for Nate Squared running Elevator Action, Icy Ascent, River Vantage, Coggers, Braid, Retro, and a couple of other levels in the later game that are going to be very impressive to watch if he pulls them off.
Definitely. We're going to watch 3 do some warm-ups now. 3 is hailing from the United States of America, also known as 3-Folder. And this guy was one of in fact, lead developer on Platinum Quest, which was a major mod for the Marble Blast Gold series. 3-Folder has tons of experience in this game. Over 1,000 hours, 1,100 hours of playtime, although most of that dedicated to designing his own custom levels, which is very, very cool. 3 has a personal best of 47 minutes and 13 seconds, putting him in after just 2 runs. So you can see how experienced he is as a Marble speedrunning player. Favorite level is Braid. And you know what? One of the cool things about players like 3 making those custom levels is that he's been invited by the Marble Collective to contribute to the game by creating some of the official levels that are in the upcoming update for Marble It Up Mayhem. So we love having that kind of community interaction with the developers, and honestly, his levels are just so good. And he's also apparently gotten the Golden Berry on Farewell and Celeste, and that is no small feat.
Not at all. I give big props to the man. I very much appreciate that effort and dedication to especially such a good game too. But next on our list is going to be Gluten, hailing from Sweden. Gluten's going to run at a time of 45 minutes and 23 seconds and is a relatively small name in the community. No, I'm kidding.
No.
He is pretty much the reason why this exists, although we'll get into that.
We'll get into that later. Yeah. That's more of an invitational race kind of thing.
For his ventures in this game and otherwise, though, he has speedrun Sea of Thieves before with the second place time on the Maiden Voyage 100% run, which is a very long run. I actually looked it up. It's a very long run, so very big props to the man. Gluten runs in at 185 hours, but has completed over 25 RTA runs in that time. So a lot of RTA experience coming from Mr. Gluten. His favorite level is Off Kilter, and his least favorite level is Crystalline Matrix. So let's hope that both of those treat him very well. And let's also hope that he doesn't miss kickflips for 15 minutes, as he says he thinks he will.
Let's hope.
Let's also continue to cheer on him and some other runners later in the event, as he is the owner of the esports organization Neotic, where both Hatchet and J2_2 are both signed. So very big props.
Looking forward to having Gluten on as a caster for the invitational race. Coming up next, we have C Murder with just about 11 or 12 minutes left until the game is going to start. C Murder is a former top 5 player in the Marble Blast Ultra community, so incredibly well accomplished in Marble speedrunning for the last 16 years. C Murder is also the only person to ever be featured in a in a community spotlight until now, because of course the winner of the Invitational will be getting that one. Yeah, props to C Murder. He has over 1,300 hours in Marble It Up and a personal best of just under 42 minutes, the 41:59. So really knocking on the door of that invitational qualification, actually. But always has been focused on individual levels, and he's only completed a single attempt of Full Game Classic, which is insane, getting a 41:59 on your first attempt Full Game Classic. That just shows to show how talented and how skilled he is. I mean, previous speedrun experience as well, not just with Marble Blast Ultra, but also Super Mario 64 and Sonic. And here's one for you. Do you know he can solve the last 20 moves of a Rubik's Cube behind his back?
Dude, I keep thinking about it. I just don't know how you can do that. How can you conceptualize that, like, the last 20 moves of a Rubik's Cube like that? I can't think about it. It breaks my mind, and I'm gonna lose it if I keep thinking about it. So I'm gonna stop thinking about it and introduce our next runner, Whiskey Mancer, hailing from Belgium. Whiskey runs a time of 41 minutes and 59 seconds, and is a very new runner, clocking in at only 70 hours in the game, around 80 hours, but has completed around 20 runs in that time. So very dedicated to the art of RTA. Has not done any of the speedruns before this, but is very much known for sharing his experience on his stream and also being a major supporter of many other Marble It Up streamers. Always good to have him around in your chat. His favorite level is Danger Zone because of its rhythmic nature, which is a neat detail. I do quite find the beating of the cycles in that level very satisfying.
Oh, it's so satisfying.
And his least favorite level is Triple Divide, so let's hope that bounce start doesn't haunt you today, Mr. Man. He'll also be attempting EA Skip, he says, as it is his biggest trouble in RTA, so best of luck. And his fun fact is, ironically, despite being named Whiskey, he has never actually tried whiskey.
That is ironic. Our final contestant for today, our final entrant for the Marble It Up Full Game Invitational, is going to be none other than Andy C. Andy C, very well known in the community for having invented the tool that is used by some keyboard and mouse runners in order to simulate analog inputs for some controller turning, which is very, very, very useful for a lot of players. This guy has over 1,800 hours in Marble It Up, which is probably no surprise because he's held so many frame wars and world records. Most runs that he's attempted end on Chapter 1, but he's completed 6 different attempts of Full Game Classic. And again, just getting into the 41-minute, 18-second time with 6 completed attempts goes to show how well the skill of some of these players in individual levels has been able to transfer, and we'll see some even more accomplished individual level runners when we get into the Invitational. But back to NDC, not a big fan of Vertigo, so hopefully that's going to go well for him. But he did formerly own the world records on Off Kilter and Retrograde Rally. So we're looking forward to seeing those, as well as some skips on Speedball, Icy Ascent, and Escalation.
Very, very fun stuff. Very excited to see what all of these runners have to offer. Very big appreciation to everybody who has come out to join. And we will get into the race very soon. But first, we have a special announcement coming from our big man, the developer, Mr. Fletch Voice.
As we get into that, we're going to be moving back into the caster's booth for a moment, and then we'll bring Fletch in to say hello.
How exciting! It's another Super Bowl.
We're back with Fletch, who is one of the members of the Marble Collective, developer, and our beloved community manager. Why don't you say hello, Mr. Fletch?
Hey everybody, it's very exciting to be here again on a much more polished Super Bowl event.
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of work has gone into making this happen.
Now, Fletch, so obviously this is a grassroots event. You know, we take some pride. This is community organized, community funded, everything. But at the same time, I think we have a very special relationship between the Marble Up community and the Marble Up developers. What would you have to say about that?
I think, yeah, I mean, it's a really awesome thing to see sort of a culmination in an event like this, the culmination of sort of the culture of the community. And I think we've tried to do a lot of work to help the community shape itself a lot, and I think the really looking at the speedrun leaderboard is just so cool. I mean, we have like
46.
close to 30 runners here at the event today of like, I don't know, thinking about it a few years ago with not a lot of thought toward the full game speedrun and things like games done quick, like seeing the evolution of that in such a positive way. I mean, I put it in the newsletter yesterday that I really like the prize for improving your own personal best. And I think that small detail sort of helps encapsulate just the positivity of the community of it's about, hey, come do your best because we're all having fun, all playing this game, but also excel. And that's a really exciting thing that I feel like, not every community has. Not every community can put an event like this together, continue to have the passion for the game, to have the passion for sharing the game with each other, the just excitement from seeing a new world record, the excitement from somebody achieving a really good chapter time. It's great that it can be shared like that, and then have an event like this that can celebrate all of that all at once, and then to see it evolve and have a level of polish that it didn't have the year before or the year before. So it's just, it's a very affirming kind of thing to see such a cool event come together and get better each time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Fletch. That's it's been a pleasure having you as our community manager and representing the Marble Collective as part of our community.
Yeah, it's a two-way street as well. We're glad to have you as much as you're glad to have us.
Yeah, absolutely thrilled, and I am excited to see who gets the coveted community spotlight in the in the newsletter. A fun prize to be able to throw out there.
Can't wait to read it, and well, thank you so much, Fletch, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys, and good luck to all of the runners. We are all wishing you guys the best, personal bests, and I know we'll all be cheering everybody on. So good luck.
Thank you, Fletch. All right, we've got just over like 3 or 4 minutes until the first race is going to begin. We're going to take a moment, though, because I want to hear, Sevadra, what are your predictions for this open race? How is this open division going to go, in your opinion? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but we got to know, what do you think is gonna happen?
So what do I think is going to happen? I am personally a very big believer in the Cinderella story.
Okay.
I believe that despite the establishment of other players with better times like Whiskey Mancer, C Murder, Andy C, I believe that somebody in the mid 40 and 50-minute range are going to come out and just absolutely blow me away with what they have to offer.
Nice. Well, what I'm hoping to see as many personal bests as possible. However, if it was going to be a question of who is likely to actually take the crown, one of those top 2 spots, I'm looking at the people who have the fewest number of completions to their great times. So again, we've got C Murder in one attempt got a 41:59. It's possible that some of these runners are actually going to break the sub 40-minute barrier during the race.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
It's possible. It could happen. We don't know. But yeah, we've got, again, Andy C with only 6 attempts. And, as well as C Murder with the 1 attempt. I think those are the favorites for this. However, you never know. Nothing's ever decided. And it's been a while since some of these people have PB'd. So I would love to see some of those runners who've been really grinding out this category come out on top.
Of course.
Right now, it is time for us to head over to the open room, where we're going to be seeing all of these runners about just getting ready to get started. We are mere minutes away from the start of this race.
as we.
We're not going to be able to watch necessarily, just so you know what to expect, we're not necessarily going to be able to watch all these runners at a time. However, we will be swapping between them and commentating on everybody who we're going to be able to see. And we've got so much anticipation for this race. I can't wait to see who is going to come out on top. And I think we are very close to being ready. I just need a quick confirmation.
Everybody is on learning to roll, and all the runners are ready to go. So we are ready to begin the countdown.
All right. Then let us begin. You can see that timer on the top. That is synced. Every runner has the same timer on racetime.gg, and that is going to help us to keep track of all these runners. We, of course, make doing this in the form of a Discord call. So please bear with us if there's any frame drops or limitations in hardware. All right. Let's roll.
And there it goes. It begins.
We're seeing our first runners taking off from learning to roll here. Let me go ahead and focus in on 4 of them in particular. On the top left, we have Sea Murder. On the top right, we have Glacier Husky. You see Gluten there in the bottom left for the moment, as well as Mr. Calligraphy. And one of the sorry about this, Mr. Calligraphy, but one of the traditions we have in Marble Up races is that somebody has to fail learning to jump, or learning to turn rather, and looks like he managed to pull it out.
The curse has struck once more.
Once again, it has struck.
It's honestly, it's a blessing in disguise. Is, you know, he's gonna boomerang back and just take the entire thing. That's what I believe. As we see most of the runners getting through the first couple of levels, a good number of people on Precious Gems moving on to Up the Wall. There's Skullfire, it seems, taking most of the lead right now, followed by Whiskey Mancer and Andy C, and Glacier Husky as well, following very close behind. It's just so many, so many runners, so many things happening at once. It's going to be quite a bit of a difficult task to keep up with everything, so bear with us.
Absolutely. Looking at all these runners, Chapter 1, as far as Chapter 1 is concerned, some of the more experienced runners are going to be Sea Murder. Also looking at potentially Whiskey Mancer coming out with an early lead. However, Chapter 1 standings are not going to be any kind of a determinant on who is going to win this race.
Oh, not by a long shot.
By far, the most amount of time that's going to be won and lost is going to be on Chapter 6, and then on Chapter 5 and Chapter 3. However, getting off to a good start really puts you in a good position to get in the right mindset for how you're going to be playing out this race.
Of course. And as the early run struggle tugs itself back and forth, see that Andy C is actually going to be the first one to break away from Chapter 1.
Yeah, and we're seeing that now.
Just finishing onward and upward.
About 2 minutes.
And playing Chapter 1 again. Awesome. That's
back in Chapter 1. Yeah, that's just a failed attempt at transitioning into Chapter 2, which, if you do it the wrong way, can actually send you back to the beginning of the chapter. Yeah, that looked like about a 2 minutes and 13 seconds out of Andy C, and we don't know if there's anybody else faster than that, but that was a very respectful time coming out of Chapter 1. And now, most of our runners are going into the second chapter.
We have a couple runners still on onward and upward, but yeah, actually, it's a very close race in the open so far. Everybody's around the same level pool. Everyone's within like a level or 2 of each other. It's very exciting to watch. Actually, super exciting to watch. We have Nate Square going into transit. We have Junk Nola and Whiskey Mancer also coming into transit. Andy C is about to finish transit. And along with Skullfire, oh, they caught up. They're neck and neck.
Skullfire is going on Great Wall right now, and we're going to see if he dies twice. Not likely to happen, but we'll see. If we get a little bit of a lap out of him, maybe he'll shake his camera for us or something like that.
It won't be Skullfire. It'll be Andy C with the first death on Great Wall. That's super unfortunate.
It happens. It does happen.
And it's a second time. He did it a second time. Oh,
hooray!
No.
Okay. For those of you who may not be in the know, a bit of a meme in the community to die twice on Great Wall. exemplified by the run by Hatchet in Awesome Games Done Quick 2022. That is the world record holder, by the way.
Yes.
By the way.
Just a reminder, if you think you can't be good at this game, just remember that the best players have also died on the levels you think they wouldn't die on. It is a very natural thing. So we see Sevadra take the lead, or not take the lead, my apologies. Skullfire take the lead, finishing over the garden wall. Oh, going over the garden wall, my apologies.
Oh no. No, you're not supposed to go over the garden wall on over the garden wall. Common misconception, yeah.
That brings other players back into the fray. 3 is able to take the lead over Skullfire and Sea Murder. We have Whiskey Mancer following very close behind. Sea Murder just photo finishing garden wall just behind that. And yeah.
So who do we think is in the lead right now? Unfortunately, managing the stream, I'm not able to keep an eye on everyone at the same time.
It's even if you can see everyone, it's really hard to just kind of deter.
It's chaos.
What levels everyone is.
There's
it is
so
chaos.
many participants here.
It's great chaos though. That's the thing. Like I'm just looking. I'm just seeing all the balls roll. I'm like neuron activation. It's great. But in the lead right now, I believe is 3, as he has finished wave pool and will go to Big Easy automatic. By the way, but it would seem that 3 is a Chad and will not be doing the automatic Big Easy because it's not automatic. It's a joke.
Yeah, 3 coming out with an early lead, which is very good. Not necessarily the highest seeded going into this race, however, showing what he's got on this very, very smooth early game.
Yeah, it's time. It's starting up to be quite the race so far between a couple of people. Not to mention that there are a couple of people going for that bounty on wave pool, such as Glacier Husky, running that individual level time, which through experimentation, I figured out it is roughly the same amount of time for the RTA speedrun. You lose like a couple of seconds, but it's not actually the end of the world. And oh no, that was a very tragic piece of ending there. But I still believe in you having the fastest time, Mr. Husky.
All right, keeping an eye on all of these runners. We've got our Russian brand new speedrunner WDN coming in on Archipelago, showing off one of those skips that most casual players will be able to find as one of their first skips that kind of introduces them to the idea of speedrunning Marble It Up.
Yeah.
So we love seeing that one.
Very crafty, having a certain way of thinking to figure out those skips throughout the game. It's a very accomplishing thing to do, in my opinion. But we will see that more and more as the run continues.
We'll be keeping an eye on 3 as he's the leader right now. But also, we'll bring up a few other views so that we can get a pretty good sense of where everybody's placing so far in this race.
We have 3 just doing the super jump skip on Thread the Needle. We have Skullfire about to come up on said skip. Let's see if he pulls it off, gets the setup, does the jump. There's a second jump, wall hit, perfect landing. Well done to Skullfire.
Just missed it on stream, but he got it.
Oh, actually, I wasn't paying attention. Whiskey Mancer is going to come in and snipe the lead coming out of Chapter 2 first.
All right, let's get a view on Whiskey Mancer. And he is just steps ahead of 3 right now, holding on to that top spot by a thread.
By a thread, indeed. It's anyone's game so far. This could turn the tides very quickly in terms of any of the other runners. We still have Mr. Calligraphy on Triple Divide and Glacier Husky as well on Triple Divide. Nate Squared, CJH Carter, WDN, a few others on Thread the Needle. But again, still a very close race so far. Everybody's within a level or 2 of each other.
I think Skullfire may have pulled it slightly ahead of both 3 and Whiskey Mancer there, getting that first try Sugar Rush skip. And honestly, if somebody was going to get Sugar Rush, it would need to be Skullfire. It would need to be Skullfire, absolutely. Would be. Not going for any kind of elevator action skip here, so potentially a chance for Whiskey Mancer to catch up if he lands this first try.
Or a variation of it. He gets to skip, but
gets to skip. He's going to have to go back for those gems, so not as much of a time save as we were hoping for there. Let's see if we can catch up on a few of these other runners.
Let's see. We have Chung Nola coming in at the end of Thread the needle, about to ride the elevator, take the safe route up. Oh, we have Nate Squared. Oh, Nate Squared actually pulling the both gem collects on the elevator action skip. Well done. Very glad to see that you were able to pull that off.
What's his time going to be? About 20 seconds elevator action. So, honestly,
very good time.
That's a skip honestly. We see top runners, and I mean the very top of runners, will fail that and need to reset on their speed runs. So, seeing that in the open race is very, very cool.
Very cool. We have a couple of others just running into elevator action. 3. Oh, a bit of a close save for 3 on Speedball. Actually almost slipping off the edge because of too much momentum going too speedy. Remember they asked on Big Easy how fast is too fast? Well, that was almost it.
We've got Carter here doing a little bit of Speedball. We can see Nate Squared coming in on River Vantage.
Well, C-Murder is going to be going for his River Vantage skip. This is something that C-Murder, I believe, did find. And, another close save with the barely brushing the edge and not getting the, slide off, but very well done. C-Murder will take the lead on that skip.
Got the tail end of that skip on stream.
Onto Off Kilter, the second bounty level, but because there are no time travels here, the optimal time is going to be the RTA time, and he's upside down. That's going to be his chance for the bounty. Oh, wait, never mind. Hasn't reset yet, so that could be his chance, but we will see if other runners can actually pull off the off-kilter skip.
Off-kilter skip is, oh my gosh, I fail that all the time. All the time.
It's something. It is quite obnoxious to get down.
See Nate Squared coming into that off-kilter as well. Maybe a chance to catch up a little bit here. If he goes for the skip. Now, it looks like he's going for it. What do we got? A jump? Oh, this looks good.
This looks good.
Oh, good. That puts
him with a 14-4.
Just
that
seconds behind C-Murder here right now. We're going to check in on a few other runners while we're here. Sevadra, thank you. He's been letting me know some of these guys to switch to when they're about to do something cool. Finishing up 4 stairs by a few runners.
Mr. Calligraphy with a death on Speedball. That's super unfortunate. He went too fast, as per the Speedball.
Speedball, very different level, whether you're doing it in full game RTA or whether you're doing it individual levels because of that time travel.
Oh, Andy C. Andy C is going to be on Cog Valley, but he's going to miss the first try. That would mean that Andy C is in the lead right now.
In the lead, going for this Coggers. If you're in chat and you've seen Coggers, you know what to expect here. We're going to see if he's going to be the first person to pull it off.
A couple of tries. Going up. That's a good hit. That's it.
Coggers!
And there we go. Coggers in the chat. Andy
Coggers
C will
in the
pull
chat.
Away from Chapter 3, going into Bumper Invasion as he is currently in the lead.
Very interested to see who else is going to be attempting that and, who else is going to be maybe even landing it first try. We'll be keeping an eye on a few of those runners for sure.
Let's see, we have Nate Squared and Whiskey Mancer. C-Murder has also just come into Cog Valley. Skullfire is about to finish Time Capsule.
Whiskey Mancer just gets Coggers. C-Murder's going for it.
He's going for it.
First try Coggers. Actually, C-Murder's famous for Coggers. Used to the IL world record on this. First tries out of so many of these runners. And you know what? The race is already into Chapter 4.
It's already into Chapter 4. It's been what? It's still 12 minutes? Only 13 minutes? This is really good pace for these open runners. There's very high potential for PBs at the end of the race here.
We're seeing some cool total two-wheeler skips coming out of first WDN 2010, and now we're going to see if Gluten's able to pull it off. Got a very high launch. Potentially... Oh yeah, he's got it. Gluten knows what he's doing.
For sure. I was maybe wondering why there are only 11 streams on this and not 12, and I was like, who am I missing? My bad. It's okay, Gluten. I believe in you.
We do believe in Gluten for sure. NEC still in the lead right now. Climbing up that Sunspire. Looks like he's going to get potentially one of these faster cycles, which is very, very useful. On a lot of these levels, there are definitely skips that we're going to be seeing out of our invitational runners that are just not practical or not reasonable to expect out of our open division. However, still some very, very cool and exciting skips coming out. We see Cogger's attempts. We see some first try Coggers as well.
We'll also be seeing some people opt to take it safe, such as WDN right now, taking the good long stroll on Cog Valley, which is and Gluten as well.
Yeah, they're neck and neck with their Cog Valley climbing.
Chunk Nola is not too far behind, just struggling with the end of a time capsule here. Getting up that ramp is very difficult. I know. I can't do it. There's this dumb jump that all the top runners do. I can't do it.
Bring up a little Chunk Nola Coggers potentially. Doesn't look like he's going for the skip after all. That's okay.
That's okay. If he can get out the level just fine, then that's all there really needs to be for it. And as we take a look at the top end of the run once more, we have Andy C and C Murder on Epoch. Whiskey Mancer as well, about to finish Epoch. Skullfire and Nate Squared are on Sunspire. And we have 3 in WDN in Braid. 3 is actually about to finish Braid and go into Sunspire, but he did do that fast rocket for the RTA route, so very excited, very exciting. Nicely done, 3.
So right now we're getting into the part of the race where I think just about everybody is on Chapter 4. Please forgive me if there's any runners that are not there yet. But it looks like that's pretty much our the way that the run is going so far.
Looks like about just only the one for Mr. Calligraphy. He's on time capsule, but you know, I believe in the slingshot effect. You know that effect in Mario Kart where like
slingshot,
all the like
rubber
when
banding.
You're in last place, all the computers like start slowing down so you can catch back up. Yeah, I believe in it here. I believe in you, Calligraphy.
Callie's coming up on that tail end of Chapter 3, and he's kind of ushering us into the next phase of the run.
Of course. We'll be ending Chapter 3 at around the 1640-ish mark, which is not too shabby, honestly. Even for a race like this, still not too bad in terms of the prospect of a PB run.
Absolutely.
It'll get tougher. It'll only get tougher from here on out, but if there's anyone who can, it would be Calligraphy.
We're watching NEC now on Acrophobia. Missed the first attempt on this beginning skip, and oh my gosh, that was a Acrophobia swag start.
Whoa. It was
just a little bit of hitbox moment on that gem, but at the same time, whoa, oh my gosh, that was cool. I'm so glad we managed to tab over for that. See that one. Seeing Skullfire landing a retrograde rally skip, which is very, very cool indeed. And
3 is about to attempt. No, he's not going to attempt retro skip. It would seem.
No retro skip for 3. That's okay. I heard a bump scare somewhere.
Somewhere. Might have been for Mr. Calligraphy, as he is currently on Bumper Invasion.
That would make sense. And see Murder is
fallen off of Bumper Invasion. They did more than scare him. They actually bumped them. Those silly bumpers.
All right, we'll keep these videos cycling through and getting our a little bit of screen time for as many runners as possible. Man, you know what? We sped this up when we started planning this event. We decided to split the event into 2 divisions because we thought there might be a few too many runners for a single race. And oh my goodness, we should have split it into like 4 divisions because the amount of entries that we've received and new runners hitting sub hour and new runners hitting sub 40 since this first started the planning is absolutely nuts. Like maybe we needed 12 divisions. I don't know.
Yeah, we needed an entire bracket for all of this. This is This is quite a lot, but this is very exciting stuff still. Like, despite
Honestly,
all that.
I think in future years we're gonna need to move to heats.
We have Andy C coming in Diamond in the Sky. We have Whiskey Mancer very close behind. Andy C will be attempting the RTA skip for Diamond in the Sky. It's going
at
to
least
get
for the start.
The first big jump. He's gonna have to finagle the last part of the jump pattern in order to get the right jump on the second part, and he does land it.
Oh my gosh,
very
Andy
nicely
C.
done. Now he's got to make sure he doesn't hit anything that isn't the flat of the platform here, and he does, so he will have a very solid time, even with that bounce at the bottom of that ramp. Very well done, Andy C.
We're coming out of Chapter 4 under 19.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's a very respectable time.
And like you were saying, we got Whiskey Mancer following closely behind.
Seamurder is now also on Diamond in the Sky. Not going to get quite the skip, but will still have a very solid time in recovery as he has not died from doing so. Skullfire on Dire Straits and Gluten on Acrophobia. Nate Squared on Ex Machina. So it's a very it's starting to scatter out a little bit. We have some players.
Sure, yeah. It's going to spread out as we go, because again, like the spread between just barely sub-hour and just barely not sub-40 is pretty huge.
Oh, yeah.
There's probably 10 times as many mistakes in a sub-hour run as a sub-40 run.
It was very, very satisfying to see all the runners towards the start of the race, like within like 3 levels of each other. It was just satisfying, and I know it's gonna spread. It happens. That this is the speed run.
Yes, it is. We're gonna leave Andy C up there as long as he's the leader, and we'll be checking in on some of our other runners as well.
We have Gluten going for the super jump skip on Dire Straits, and he will land it barely, but gets the checkpoint for safety. Very well done on Gluten's part.
Yeah, checkpoints not necessarily important for individual levels, but in RTA, they are a lifesaver. Literally.
Mr. Calligraphy coming in at the towards the end of Epoch here, my bad. Going to be heading into Retrograde Rally soon. Chunk Nola on Gearheart. CJH Carter has just finished Ex Machina. Will be on Diamond in the Sky. Maybe he will do the skip. Maybe. It seems like his jump pattern's going for it. Gets
we got
a bit
Carter?
of a slide off of that ramp. CJ Carter gets one.
Oh, there he is.
Ooh,
oh man, that skip is so pretty. That skip is so pretty.
But it's good. It was looking low, but it's good. You might get the second part of the skip too.
Got a bit of a roll down. This is going to be a different bounce pattern. However, able to save it with a couple of natural bounces there.
Good bounces there for the recovery from CJ. We have a couple of people here on Staying Alive.
Look at Andy. He's toying with us, doing the the start of Stay and Skip, and just like not not going for it. Of course, picking up those time travels.
Oh, but C Murder is going to be going for the skip after picking up a couple of time travels.
Oh my gosh!
To start.
Hold on, give me a second. What is happening here? This is a strat I did not think we were going to see during this open division.
He's got a good amount of speed.
Is it? Oh no, he did not.
Gonna get the beam.
No way! Oh no!
He didn't do it! No! Just at the very end!
C Murder, why?
Oh, how unfortunate. A very good attempt from C Murder, though.
Oh gosh.
I was rooting for it. That would have put him pretty much right on top of Andy C if he was able to land that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, okay. I gotta close a couple of streams here because I'm getting overloaded for a moment. But
my apologies.
Oh my gosh, that was intense.
Goodness.
That was intense. We'll be seeing more of that kind of thing in the Invitational later on. There are a number of runners who are going to be going for that particular strat, and it is absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Pulling up the leader ADC again for a moment while we switch around some videos.
Meanwhile, just behind the leaders fray of Andy and C Murder, we have CJ on Arky, WDN, and Gluten. Gluten's also on Arky, but he was on Newton's Cradle for a couple of seconds, 3 as well. getting the last couple of gems in Arky. We have Whiskey Mancer on Gordian, so not too far behind Andy C here. There's just a couple of levels behind, but it seems like Andy C is beginning to pull away with a bit of a stronger lead. So if his late game treats him well, that could very well be the race.
Let's keep another close eye on Whiskey Mancer here, because he did say the bane of his existence for this run has been this crystalline matrix, and I'm glad we managed to catch it, because he's getting set up for a potentially very difficult skip.
Well, his jump pattern looks kind of shaky, but
this isn't the pattern I use, but oh, he made it! He made it! Oh, that was so good, Whiskey Mancer. Well done. Landing that first try is very, very clutch, and that, oh my gosh, that run, that kills all of my runs. That kills all of my runs personally, and I'm in the sub 40 category, but I don't know if we're going to be seeing anybody going for a contraption skip. If anyone does, it would be C Murder, but he's not quite there yet. Still wrapping around on Gordian.
We also have a couple of runners still like trailing behind on Staying Alive. You have CJ, Gluten, 3 Skull, all on Staying Alive. Chugnola is coming up on the midsection of Diamond in the Sky. And we have WDN also now on Staying Alive. Glacier Husky here on Newton's Cradle, and Mystic Calligraphy. You know, I'm still pulling. I'm not pulling out the Copium tank yet. He's on Ex Machina, but I still believe.
Oh, I think
we still got the Copium in here.
I think C Murder just got that Crystalline Matrix skip as well, and now we're gonna see, does he go for contraption? This is actually very much related to a strat that C Murder has invented, but he's not going for it this time. That's okay. We will get to see that during the Invitational race. I don't think there's anybody else in this heat who would be likely to be going for it.
Yeah, we could. It's still possible. It's still a couple of surprises, but yeah, this is the territory of all of the harder and more inconsistent, harder to nail skips that newer runners typically wouldn't go for, as for the virtue of safety and like not spending too much time on doing just the one stupid hard thing throughout the run.
For sure. We're seeing some of these runners on Staying Alive who are going to pick up all these time travels that they can. And actually, remember, whoever gets the fastest time on the levels Wave Pool and Staying Alive and Olympus, as well as Off Kilter, yes, they are going to be receiving $10 for the fastest in each race.
Well, this is going to be an interesting one because it's like Off Kilter in that there's no time travel, so the optimal route is the RTA route.
Yeah, we're seeing Vertigo already coming out of Andy C, and he is on a quite fantastic pace. We're only 27 minutes into this run.
Wow. Actually, if Chapter 6 treats him well, this could be our sub 40 for the Open. We'll have to wait and see, but no, that's not a good start with the falling off of Warp Core. But that's a small time loss. It's gonna be all right. So we have the end of the Chapter 4 here with Calligraphy completing Diamond in the Sky. Now every runner is now into Chapter 5.
I like seeing everybody on the same chapter this late into the run. It shows that there is a certain level of competition going on here. You know, like in previous years when we had everybody racing at the same time, it was so spread out by this point. We'd have people on Chapter 6 and Chapter 3 simultaneously. This kind of keeps it together, and I really like this format.
Yeah, I do enjoy just kind of seeing a more kind of compression in like level spread here. Is like it's not as kind of hard to keep track of when you know like the general area where everyone is, and it's also like it fosters a level of competition, as you said. Oh no, Calligraphy whiffing the goal on Newton's Cradle. No, how? What happened?
At least he had a checkpoint. Okay, you had me worried there for a second. He had a checkpoint, so he's gonna be okay. And then we'll get everybody in past Newton's Cradle.
Speaking of the end of the chapter, we have Andy C brushing up on the goal of Pit of Despair here, just getting over these last few movers.
And that takes
movers.
us into Chapter 6, which is by far the biggest difficulty spike in the game. A lot of these sub-hour runners are going to be struggling with these levels. Danger Zone in particular gets us started off, and you can already see how dangerous this is.
You're not too
You're
careful,
in for a
you'll
paddling.
get whacked. Not too careful.
You're not too careful, you get whacked, yes. And Andy C seems like he knows what he's doing. He's getting in by here just fine indeed.
As for the standings at a glance here, we know Andy C is here in Danger Zone. We have Whiskey Mancer starting Pit of Despair, so he's still very close behind, could very well pull it ahead. I have C Murder, Nate Squared on Warp Core, and a few others. Skullfire on Vertigo, 3 on Flip the Table.
Bit of a drop out of Whiskey, unfortunately.
Gluten as well on Flip the Table. CJ Carter as well. I am bad at keeping track of all these names.
There's so many runners, and again, this is a real blessing to us to have all these runners, you know, some new, some old, but all of them relatively either new to the game or new to the category. And, you know, there's just the growth of this community, like Fletch was saying, has been a really, really big highlight of the year. You know, this is the biggest Marble Up event of the year, along with AGDQ, and it's going so well. I love seeing this.
Oh, you know what we missed? We missed WDN's Gearheart route. That's sad. I was in the action for too many other things. I'll be excited to try and watch this back though.
We do get to catch him on Flip the Table, however.
Yes, on Flip the Table, and other than that, seems like everyone else is in same general area. Chunknola and Mr. Calligraphy are the only ones trailing slightly behind, but still in Chapter 5. Chunknola on Crystalline Matrix and Calligraphy going to be taking the long stroll on staying alive.
Yeah, while we're doing that, Whiskey Mancer getting ready to show off crazy cool skip on Danger Zone. Oh. And first try manages to make it up. Not the smoothest possible variation of that, but getting it first try is a big relief.
The sub-minute Danger Zone, despite that, still very commendable.
And then
Andy
C
C coming up
as well.
on the Andy C coming in at the end of Platinum Playground, so this is where things
this is where Fletch
difficult.
really gets excited, because now we're playing Radius.
This is where Fletch begins to squeal like a fangirl. Oh,
Poor little drop there, but that's okay. Let's catch up with some of our other runners here while we have the opportunity.
We have 3 coming up at the end of Pit of Despair. Just going to get past these last few movers and go into Chapter 6. I have Gluten on the beginning section of Pit of Despair. I have WDN coming in towards the end of Vertigo, so going to be doing Warp Core. Also, C Murder. Oh no! Wait, what happened?
Oh my gosh, I saw that just out of the corner of my eye.
He went for the bumper ending and had just barely missed the goal off of a bounce. Very unfortunate.
Again, another low ending. Just hitting a little too far left on that bumper, I think. And that can depend. The exact spot where you need to hit it does depend slightly on your speed, although it is usually a little bit forgiving. So glad to see it going right into the goal there.
I'm not sure, but I think Andy just did a fast radius ending. If he did, well done. But I saw a 48-second time, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, still paving the way, leading the way there on Head and Clouds, and right now he's looking like the favorite for this race. Although, if I am not wrong, then NDC has a little bit to worry about with Olympus. Not always a big fan of that one. However, I'm not too worried about it for him. I think he's very skilled at this game, and he has a decently sizable lead for himself.
Oh yeah,
already about to finish up Head in the Clouds, and look at this skip. Oh, okay. Missed the buffer jump, unfortunately. But either way, again, he has the time to spare. He's in the lead, and he's kind of paving the way for everybody else here.
It's unfortunate, but yeah, still holding a very good lead over the race overall. Going to just going to have a little bit of a tussle with the end ahead in the clouds, but just remember, take it slow. It's all cycles. We'll be okay. Oh, he's going for it again. What a mad lad. What a mad
he got
lad.
it. He got it. I don't know if you saw that on the right side of the screen, but and he'd go like that is unnecessary but super cool.
Yeah. Very, very nicely done, Andy. That did give some time for Whiskey to catch up and get on to Head in the Clouds, though, so if the ending treats him well, then this could still be a very close race between Andy and Whiskey.
Andy and Whiskey, the two front runners for the moment. Let's bring Whiskey up as he is coming on Head in the Clouds, and Andy C is still more than a full level ahead, and that level being Centripetal Force is pretty significant. Seeing potentially our first instance of kickflips here. Andy C, first kickflip going correct. And making the right choice going for this checkpoint strat. We've got to see this. Can we get a first try second kickflip?
Oh.
All right, sorry to put you on the spot there, all these times. As soon as I switch over to Andy, it's just like right exactly the worst amount of time. But it's no doubt that
there's a caster curse.
I gotta stop. We're going to watch See Murder or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's all my fault.
Tally on the standings so far is Mr. Andy has a little bit of a struggle with the escalation. We have
look at this ending
coming up on the end of that.
Look at this ending.
See Murder. Oh, a bit of an odd bounce on that super jump. Oh, very good try.
Supposed to be a smooth roll.
Bounce. Not quite what he wanted, but we will see Skullfire actually pull ahead of that because of that death. Going into Head in the Clouds. 3 going to be coming in the midsection of Radius here. We have CJ Carter and WDN both on Danger Zone, and Gluten's going to be entering Radius now as well. And as for the other two runners, Chuck Nola and WDN, Chuck Nola has fallen behind now.
Andy C getting final kickflip up. Whiskey Mancer going for a first kickflip.
Is Chuck Nola behind Calligraphy? I think Chuck Nola might be behind Calligraphy now. Calligraphy is... No, I'm getting the level order wrong. I'm dumb.
That's all right.
It's actually kind of close between the last two, though.
Kickflips are a challenge here for anybody who's going for them. Andy C unfortunately missing that Confluence. No checkpoints on Confluence, so you do have to start from the beginning if you end up missing it. Who else do we have to check in here?
We have Chunk Nola on Warp Core, Mr. Calligraphy on Flip the Table, but other than that...
Whiskey Mancer got the kickflip. He got it.
Whiskey did get the kickflip. Very nice.
Yep.
Very well done.
Here he is coming in on the last kickflip of Escalation.
Yeah,
and it's a race between these two at this point. But Skullfire, yeah, is not that far behind. He's
into kickflips as well, so any big mistake from Andy and or Whiskey could spell the win for Skull here.
Yeah, watching these front runners, not going for first kickflip. That might be wise. I'm not sure if Skullfire is going to be going for second kickflip once he gets a couple of checkpoints. Looks like maybe not. Maybe not. That's okay.
Like he won't. Okay.
One person who has a chance of doing that is going to be Team Murder, but he's still back on Head in the Clouds for now, so we have a moment before we get to that point. And Olympus
Head in the Clouds too.
Underway.
Oh, Andy on Olympus.
If you don't know Olympus,
the last bounty level.
The last bounty level. Yeah, I mean, if somebody can pull out a 202 or even like a 203, they're pretty much guaranteed to win in this category. You know, in the Invitational, that's probably going to be similar.
I would say if he's still on pace for like a 207, he would also have a really good chance of doing that. 207 is very solid. It's just not the individual level line. But making good advantage of those natural bounces can save you a ton of stress and death.
And again, what we're seeing is Whiskey Mancer and NDC on the same level right now.
CJ Carter having a bit of a scuffed radius with that edge hit on the gravity platform, but still manages
his gravity's so off axis up there.
He manages to keep it alive
Holding
and is
on.
able to keep on the cycle. A good save from the man right there. I've seen that happen a couple of times to a bunch of people recently. I wonder what's going on with the radius.
The radius. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did we see a death out of Andy C? Because it looks like Andy and Whiskey Mancer are similar. There is a bit of a copy paste here, so it looks like they're on the same area, but they're actually not. maybe that was the issue.
I think Andy is deathless here right now, and he's on a really good Olympus pace. But Whiskey is still not too far behind him, just 40 seconds. Could the Tangle and Stratosphere could be the decider here?
Let's have a look here at Nate Squared, who is up on Confluence, so not that far behind. I mean, you're full Olympus behind. There, don't get me wrong, but still only one level.
Yeah, it's a long one, but I think the race here is starting to come to an end. As actually, Andy C is going to also be doing Fast Tangle in the open division. Here we go. That is something. Let's see if he gets.
I'm sorry for the caster curse. Dang it! I gotta stop. I just want to see him get it. You know what I mean? But then it's like
I do.
I'm pulling the jinx on him. That's just the way it goes sometimes, I suppose.
Oh, and then the corners. The Tangle is not being nice right now. That's super unfortunate.
Nice news is that Whiskey Mancer is about to finish up Olympus with maybe about a 2:20-ish time.
Oh, this could be. Oh, unless nope, not quite. Didn't die, but Tangle is still not treating Andy very nicely.
Oh no! Come on! I figured if I didn't say that I was watching him, it wouldn't. Never mind. Let's catch up with a couple of our other runners before we get to the very end of this race. Calligraphy now finishing up Chapter 5 with Warp Core.
We have Sea Murder coming into Olympus. We have Nate Squared taking a death on Olympus. Unfortunate.
Whiskey's doing a new variation of Tangle that was recently found for RTA runners. Fortunate death there.
Well, then Andy will finish Tangle, and now we are on to the home
I tapped away
stretch.
from him, so I'm gonna take some credit for that, landing that Fast Tangle on Andy C's behalf.
Of course. But as Andy C begins to run the home stretch, we have Whiskey finishing Tangle. We have a good number of runners: Sea Murder, Nate Square, Skullfire, all on Olympus, and then just behind that, we have 3 on Confluence and WDN on Escalation, and it's not too far out now.
Yeah, I'm impressed that so many people are on Chapter 6, and
CJ on Escalation as well, and Chunk Nola on Platinum Playground. Mr. Calligraphy is not too far away from Chapter 6, coming into the end of Warp Core, but getting a little lost. It's a level. It's okay. But I think he's found his way back. This should be the last gem.
Gravity Skip landed by Andy C.
Yeah, that is the last gem. Well done, Calligraphy. Good job not getting too lost there. He's only beaten that level 3 times ever. So that's interesting.
Let's pull up our 2 leaders here for a moment, as looks like we may be approaching the end of this game. Just over 42 minutes. So maybe not necessarily a PB for Andy C. However, hoping to secure that spot in the invitational race. And here he goes.
The last jump on Stratosphere. There it is. He overshot it, but he's got himself some good room for the landing. And there is the time.
42.
First completion.
32 coming out of Andy C. We're going to ask any runners who are done their races to please disable your video, but stay in the Super Bowl open room for us. Let's watch Whiskey Mancer come up on this completion.
Very, very cool. Hatch, if you could relay that to Mr. Andy, man, that'd be wonderful. Shout outs to Hatchet, by the way, helping in the background with production and management of resources. He will be racing in the Invitational later. Let's focus on this race. We've still got the end of Stratosphere for Whiskey. We have a couple of people. We have Sea Murder and Nate Squared on Tangle. Sea Murder looks like it's not giving him too much of a hard time. The Nate's looking to struggle a little bit.
Sea Murder really knows this level, and We see him bounce up through that gem, and finally we get it on screen. There's a fast tangle for you. Barely grabbing that.
Bit of a close goal hit.
Here we go on Risky Mancer. Looks like it's going to be a time of 43:44. Congratulations, Risky Mancer, on your second place completion. You and Andy C will both be competing in the Marble It Up Invitational Super Bowl 2022. So make sure you stick around in this place, and we'll bring you in to see if you have anything to say to our viewers at home once we get started. Murder coming in on Stratosphere now.
Nate has finally gotten past his Demon Entangle, a 20.5 for RTA, very respectable. Skullfire is going to be also on Tangle. The rough bounces, but it seems like he's making it work. And then for tallying other runners here, we have 3 Gluten, WDN on Olympus, CJ Carter as well. CJ's going to take a death. Gluten's also going to take a death. It's the Caster Curse all over again.
Caster Curse all over again.
This could be a good race for the mid positions here, since we have a good amount of people just in the clump here.
Any others other than C Murder and Nate Square currently on Stratosphere that we know of? All right, let's see which of them is able to clutch it out.
Never mind.
Okay, let's bring up Skullfire as well, because we want to see what kind of order these guys are going to land in, securing those top 5 positions, potentially, if they're all able to get to the end here without too many deaths.
It would seem that C-Murder is going to be in 3rd with the lead on the gravity skip, and at the last couple of loops for Stratosphere, Nate Squared is going to be attempting his gravity skip, gets the first bounce, and doesn't get whacked to infinity, so if he can land the loop at the bottom, this could be good. But wait a second, Skullfire pulls ahead with the gravity skip, actually going to be pulling ahead of Nate Squared, unless that's Discord
They're
delay.
neck and neck. They're neck and neck. There can't be any significant delay that would be able to overcome that. And we don't know who's... We're going to have to watch the race time room to see which of these two actually comes out ahead. C-Murder securing that 3rd place finish. Close. Congratulations, C-Murder.
No, Nate Square got hit by the ice, the crystal.
Ooh, if Skullfire is listening in, then he knows he has a moment.
He's got a chance for the 4th place. 4th place in the Open after not playing RTA for like a year and a half. That's a pretty good result in my book.
Yeah, sure is. Let's see. Oh man, this is definitely neck and neck. Let's see if there's anybody else we can check in on. As they are finishing up this. We got Gluten just coming into Stratosphere as well, up on that top left. And who's going to win? I don't know.
Even after getting the hit on
oh my gosh.
Crystal.
What can only be described as really a tie between Skullfire and Nate Squared. Maybe Skullfire coming out just ahead. We'll have to check that race time room results in order to find out for sure. Congratulations, guys, on your top 5 finishes.
The race time says that Skull is going to be in 4th and Nate's going to be in 5th, which means it was definitely a finish in like tenths of a second, or like hundredths of a second. So very, very close race between Skullfire and Nate Squared. Very well done, both of you, for that 46-45 completion time.
Absolutely. We've got Gluten now and 3 both competing for the next finish. I believe. Keep an eye on everybody else that I'm able to. Oh, we've also got Glacier Husky. No, that was a mistake. My mistake.
I have CJ Carter.
There we go. Yes. CJ Carter.
It would seem that Gluten has already finished his gravity skips, so well done. If nothing goes awry, if he doesn't pull a reenactment of if not his current, then his former PB, then this should be smooth sailing for 6th place here.
Well, that was a low blow, but I think we're going to see this regardless. We see Gluten up here in the top right and coming in.
Oh no!
He comes up short.
He comes up short. 3 now has a chance to finish the level.
What? How can you do this? How could you? Oh my gosh!
Sevadra. That's gonna take so long. You're
psyching him out. You're psyching him out for no good reason here, and Again, we see 3 approaching that finish line.
Oh, how tragic. 3 is going to pull ahead of Gluten because of that very tragic death. But he's going to pull in 6th place. Well done, 3.
Congratulations, 3. And look, Gluten right behind him by just a moment or 2.
Oh, you hate to see it. Okay, I'm going to unfocus all of the runners that are currently done so that I can continue watching the people who are not done.
Absolutely. Reminder to any runners, if you're done your run, please disable your video. Makes it a little easier on my end.
That is a little over half of the race currently done, as that was the 7th place finish for Gluten. So we now have the 8th place stated to be CJ Carter, who is on escalation with no...
Not escalation, Stratosphere. We also have WDN coming up on Stratosphere as well.
Yes, but CJ is on the final exit for the goal. Meanwhile, we have Glacier and Chunk Nola both on escalation, and Mr. Calligraphy he's on in the clouds.
Nice, and we are just coming up under that 50-minute mark, and very, very cool. Was that CJ completing the run?
That was CJ's completion, yes.
All right, congratulations, CJ, on your finish.
49:44, just under 50 minutes. So the top 8 of the Open, all finishing under 50 minutes. Well done to everybody. I am not sure if that's a PB actually for CJ. I would have to look on the website real quick. Let me see. That should be a really big PB actually. Oh my.
What did we get?
CJ with a finish of 49:44. His previous PB on the website is currently 57:31.
Oh my gosh! So getting that sub 50, what a big PB! What an enormous PB! I love seeing that. And yeah, we'll throw out that nominal $5 prize just because we appreciate people coming out and giving their best during the Super Bowl Open.
Now that I look at it, I believe Nate Squared also PB'd. I'm not sure.
I can't keep track of all these PBs at the moment, but. Thank you for doing that.
I'm just remembering from like talking to Discord. Nate Squared had mentioned he PB'd a couple of days ago, but I'm not sure if this race beats his PB. If it does, congratulations. But
yep,
if not,
congratulations as well to WDN for a finish. Well done completing this race.
Well done. The big 9. We have 3 more runners here. A still relatively close race here between Glacier and Chunk Nola. Chunk Nola is coming up on the end of Confluence. Glacier going to be entering Confluence. It's not over until Confluence is over, because the Gravity and the Destructor can both be very finicky, but it would seem that Chunk Nola does get out of Confluence just fine with that Gravity recovery.
Thank you for updating that, because the stream... Chunk Nola's run is a little bit lagging behind, but now we see him on Olympus, so here we go. Glacier Husky also coming in to finish on Confluence, grabbing that Feather Fall for a skip at the very end.
We didn't... No, what? I'm not saying anything yet.
No.
Don't say anything.
We're not.
I didn't say anything.
We didn't say anything. There's no curse. There's no. What are we talking? No.
What are you talking about? There doesn't say it here.
All right, and going for a safe finish here. Actually, that worked out pretty well because of the way that he was flying in with that Feather Fall. Gets him onto Olympus as well. So now it's definitely still anybody's race between Glacier Husky and Chunk Nola. Calligraphy needing a little bit of a catch up, but however, still on a very good pace compared to his personal best, I believe.
Yeah, so like, this is still in contention, technically speaking, for Calligraphy. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
I don't want to count them out just yet.
But again, how many minutes into this race are we? Over 53 minutes into this race, and Calligraphy with a 58-minute PB means that he's still on PB pace. Right? So
Yes.
This is going really, really well for so many of our runners, and we might just finish out this Super Bowl Open in under an hour, which, if I'm honest, I wasn't expecting.
This is barely PB pace as well for both Chunknola and Glacier Husky, as both are sitting at that 57-58 minute mark. So
whoa!
If all goes well at the end of the game here.
You guys heard that? That was the sound of a destructor blowing up.
Oh, no.
Blowing up Calligraphy's Marvel, and
Oh,
yeah,
no, did it happen?
It's a little bit louder than the rest of the gameplay sounds.
I tap away for 1 second and Calligraphy gets destructed. That's unfortunate.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't see whether it was actually a glitch or not, or whether he fell into it, but either way, very loud. Very, very loud.
Oh.
Yeah, Callie hoping to beat his 58-minute PB. Also, Glacier Husky hoping to beat his 58-20. So
you have a couple of deaths. Olympus not treating neither of Glacier nor Chunknola very well, very kindly. But Glacier will get the good bounce to get past that hole on the rock and get to the second check, or the fourth checkpoint. My apologies. Meanwhile, Chunknola in the purple section here, sitting still, it would seem. That's a very impressive thing to do here on Olympus, considering you're going at speed cap the whole time.
I know, right? He's just like completely paused, taking a moment to take a breather and
analyze the situation.
No, that's just some technological limitations, but now we are going to be seeing all three of our remaining runners on Olympus at the same time.
Oh, those were some sketchy rock hits there, Mr. Glacier. But you are not dead, so I am very, very proud. He might pull ahead of Chunknola here, since Chunknola is now dying on the second copy paste section.
Well, this is a close three-way race now. We've got all three runners on Olympus. You know, and a very respectable showing from all three of them, absolutely, considering they're all in that 57, 58-minute PB range. And again, that's the best they've ever done. So to even come close to doing that, you don't even need a PB to be impressive. Even come close to the best you've ever done in a race, under that pressure, is very impressive.
Oh yeah, of course. There's just no telling the limit of the talent in these marble gamers.
Calligraphy coming in with that clutch checkpoint, and as Chunknola, the first of the three to exit Olympus and moving on to Tangle. We'll see what kind of route he has here on Tangle. And
we'll respectable Olympus time. A respectable Olympus time of 4 minutes. Oh, it looked like he tried to go for the IL bounce, but I know that was very obviously a mistake. I would be very surprised if he was able to do that.
All right. Quality
Glacier
issues
coming
aside,
in with the...
we are watching Chunknola, but Glacier
coming in with
well.
the sub 4 on Olympus, so well done.
The sub 4?
Calligraphy is actually
right.
Calligraphy is actually still on track for getting a decent Olympus here.
Yeah, it is definitely possible.
Actually pull into the fray at
even
Tangle
if you're
here.
not one of the first people to finish the race, you could still win cash prizes by having some of the best times on a specific chapter or on one of those 4 levels. Olympus being the last one.
Do we have a tally at all for who has gotten some of the better times so far?
Not at the moment. We're going to have to go over that after the race to keep track of what everybody would manage to get. Most of these runners are either streaming or recording themselves doing this run, so they have some kind of reference as to what time each of them had, even if they didn't necessarily appear on stream at the time. Ooh, I love seeing Glacier Husky pulling off that new Tangle route that we just introduced with the new tutorial. And right now, he and Chunknola are both competing for the next finishing position on Stratosphere.
Okay, it's very, very close. It's getting closer and closer as we get towards the end of the levels here. Also, Calligraphy coming up on the end of Olympus, going to more than definitely get a sub 3 minute, so better than both of the other runners combined. Well, unless he whiffs the goal.
Moment.
Never mind. Hitbox in the chat.
I feel like he phased through the top of that goal there. It was so close.
but still going to get a sub 3. Very well done.
And looks like we're going for a safe tangle. Can't blame you. Can't blame you. Tangle is very intimidating. And takes a lot of practice to learn. Even the easiest tangle routes for RTA.
Also, Chunknola, I think, did gravity skip, and Glacier has not. So it would seem that Chunknola
that
is
would
going
make
to
the
be pulling
difference.
away here.
Yeah, in real time, that saves a decent chunk of the run.
But I also remember that Stratosphere is one of Glacier's least preferred levels. Oh! Oh, that rock hit on the last crystal, but the super speed to actually save it on the loop. Oh, that was a good recovery, Chunknola. Oh.
Yes, it was, and it looks like he's coming in for the finish. As long as he can get into this basket, Chunknola will be our next competitor to finish the run.
Oh, that was a very risky, very odd, but very exciting finish. Good job, Chunknola, on completing your race. Time
finishing
is
around
59:26, just under an hour.
Yeah, missing that PB time, but a very, very good run. Again, coming so close to the best you've ever done during a race takes quite a lot of clutch to be able to do that. Now we're watching Glacier Husky and, of course, Mr. Calligraphy as they're working out their last couple of levels. Glacier Husky coming up on the final loop. Oh, that was the positioning of that crystal right there. And he survived.
He did.
How...
He can still make it across here with a good super speed.
Double super speed would be the best.
He can do both.
I don't know if he's listening or if we are allowed to coach him or not, but using that double super speed.
Very, very well done. Very good thinking.
And yeah, congratulations,
the
Glacier Husky, on coming in with that run. A little bit frozen here for a moment, but it looks like you're finishing up with about a 1 hour and 40-second time. So congratulations to you. Following up with our final runner of the evening, Mr. Calligraphy. Coming up on that finish in Tangle. Man, Tangle is such a pain if you don't know what you're doing. And we're just going to be watching a little bit of a victory lap here as Stratosphere is so fast. Man, this level is just so pretty. You know what I mean?
Oof. It is a pretty chapter, but man, if it isn't hard.
It can definitely be...
Hardly have time to even take in the sights because of how much you're doing, trying to survive.
I mean, even if you're not doing any skips, right? You're going at the fastest possible speed in Marble It Up. You're flying through the air. You're just having so much fun, in my opinion. We'll see what Calligraphy has in store for us for this run.
It is a grand time. And at the end of the race here, I can confirm, as per sentiment of Nate Squared himself, that is in fact his run of this Open is in fact a 2 minute and 27 second PB. So big congratulations.
Big congrats as well. As we are finishing up this race, very soon we're going to be returning to the caster desk. We're going to be bringing our two runners from the top placing finishes of the Super Bowl Open and get them to give us a quick word. And we look forward to bringing them on to race again in the Super Bowl Invitational. Sevadra and I will be back in the caster desk for a moment before that. And then the pre-show for the Marble It Up Super Bowl Invitational will begin. That run should be on schedule to begin in about 25 to 30 minutes. So stay tuned. Our pre-show is going to be a lot of fun, and look forward to introducing some of these top runners.
Bit of a risky finish there for Mr. Calligraphy. Like
he's going for it.
The feather fall, but it would seem I think he has enough height.
He flew so high over that loop.
Just that. But yeah.
Beautifully done. Congratulations.
He's gonna take a couple of laps around the bowl.
We're doing a victory lap of this bowl here with Mr. Calligraphy, and finishes with a time of about 1:03.12. Congratulations, Mr. Calligraphy. We will be right back for a couple of interviews with Andy C. and Ski Mancer. we're back for the pre-show of the Super Bowl Invitational. But before that, I want to thank Sevadra so much for joining me on that caster desk for the Super Bowl Open. That was wonderful, Sevadra. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Agedude, for having me. This was very exciting, a very chaotic, but very entertaining race to both watch and be able to cast for all of the viewers. I am very excited to see how it turns out in the video that's going on the Marble Up channel for this event, and I'm also very excited to then race in the Invitational and hopefully put on a good show for all of you.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Thank you so much, Sevadra.
No problem.
All right, so at this time, I'm going to be pulling in, first of all, our second place finisher, who was Glacier pardon me, excuse me, who was Whiskey Mancer. And let's see what he's got to say. Hello, Whiskey Mancer. I'm going to make sure you are unmuted on my end. Welcome very much to the caster desk.
Thank you very much. Hello.
So congratulations, first of all, on your finish. Second place finish in the Super Bowl Open. And were you expecting this? Are you excited? How do you feel?
I was very nervous, I'm going to be honest. Going into this, I knew Andy C and C Murder and originally Boomer as well were going to be incredible opponents for the top two. So I was very nervous all the way throughout. But I feel like I had my strategy planned out on what to do and what not to do in certain situations, and I went for it, and it seems to have worked out. So I'm very happy.
Very, very happy indeed. Yeah, thank you so much for competing, and we look forward to seeing you in the Super Bowl Invitational.
Thank you very much.
We're going to bring in Andy C here for a word as our victor in the Marble It Up Super Bowl Open. Andy, why don't you go ahead and say hello to the viewers at the caster desk?
Hi there.
Congratulations so much on your victory. How are you feeling?
Yeah. I'm a bit surprised to have won. Very nervous during the race. It's the first race I've actually taken part in. So,
your very first race, and you won, and now you get to take part in the Super Bowl Invitational. And you hadn't done a lot of runs before this one either, so very cool to see you having that consistency to win.
Thank you. Yeah, I've tried a few runs, but most of them just die on the early levels, and
yep.
I just reset. So I've taken a half a dozen, 10 runs to the end, I think now. This was quite a good one. I did some levels really well, and I messed up some other levels really badly, but overall it was decent.
Fantastic. Yeah, we were watching you for a lot of those. Sorry about that. I don't know if you were listening in on the casters, but well, we definitely missed some of your best skips and ended up seeing the bad ones. But you know what? It's okay because you secured your spot in the Invitational and you get to show your skills once again.
I'll try and do better.
Thank you so much.